Organized.
Dr. Surgeon, the people's doctor,
I am present.
and Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. We are here for our second time around tonight, episode 45. In this episode, we're going to talk about a guy who had, wait a minute, I think he says it all in the clip. Let's just watch the clip.
That works for me. I got it right here.
To the Comfort Inn Hotel. I just pulled up to the Comfort Inn Hotel. I don't even know what to do right now. Like, this is crazy, but I pulled
Yeah,
up
his
here.
voice is being
I'm gonna tell y'all what,
disguised.
my wife of 4 years is in this hotel right now. She don't have a clue that I'm out
Who's
here.
that person?
The thing is, she's been on OnlyFans for a while now. I didn't know. I had no clue. I didn't know. I had no clue that this is what she was doing. She about to find out today. The reason I found out is because my homie, he got an OnlyFans. Well, he don't have one, but he be on OnlyFans. And he runs across my wife's page. He tells me that my wife has an OnlyFans. So I'm like,
There's homie smashed his wife off of OnlyFans,
Oh,
and
see, I didn't
afterwards,
even think about that.
Afterwards, like, hey, yo, bro, you know what's going on? You might want to check that out.
Mm.
It's kind of weird, right?
So his friend tells him, yo, like if one of you guys saw my wife on OnlyFans, would you tell me?
Yeah, probably. But you would tell. Should I not tell you
You
that?
know,
No, I think I would like to know if you saw my wife on OnlyFans.
no.
This is what he's
honestly,
claiming.
I
He's
would,
claiming a friend told him.
I would probably, I'd give her some, need to.
I wouldn't tell her to tell you. No, you have to tell him. No, that's.
No,
that's
I give $20 for you to kind of tell him. Then, like,
Wait,
I'm gonna have this conversation with him. Like, I think it may be better coming from you.
You would say something to her.
Yeah.
Then I gotta seek her out and stuff like that.
Well, no, shoot. If you see on OnlyFans, then you have the connection right there.
Well, the OnlyFans, I think, just gives you an opportunity to subscribe to them. You would have to subscribe to her. You get to see
oh, I
them.
see. At that point,
You get to see them.
so at that point, you don't really know what it's about. They're like, yo, you touched on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you would say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would be like, oh, yo, what y'all doing?
What you came up with? You'd be like, what?
Okay, so let's continue with the video.
Yeah.
wow. So every day she's coming home, she's acting like she doesn't know that I even know this shit. So what I did is made a fake OnlyFans page. And I made my name D-Rock on there. I made my name D-Rock.
Oh, he about to go smash?
She don't know
Yeah, look, he's meeting her.
what's going on. Oh, what's up? How you doing, man? You alright? I'm good. So she don't know.
No, you can put it back to
What's going on?
you.
I made a fake page. I made a fake page on OnlyFans. I'm sorry, y'all, but I made a fake page on OnlyFans.
So she got a hotel room and come person to meet her there. So giving the room number, he shows up.
She's doing a meetup with a guy named D-Rock. And it's me the whole time. So she's been hiding and having this OnlyFans the entire time. And the whole time, she's been telling me, like, when she's gone and she's doing stuff like that, I'm thinking that she's
What the hell do you think she's doing?
business, you know what I mean? Or
What
business,
kind
or
of business she
hanging
doing?
out with her friends and stuff like that. But she's doing 5 hours at a time. I'm not overthinking it.
See, this type of guys we
So
have
I
out
said
here now.
OnlyFans. So I made an OnlyFans.
How could you
Hold
have...
on. Hold on to that good thought right there. That's a good thought.
She gave me a room number and everything. Here you go. She gave me a room number and everything. And she does not know that I am coming to this door. So, with that being said, I'm finna bust it. And I'm not going in the room because it don't make sense. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Look at it. She don't even know. Exactly. Open it. Open it. I ain't know what am I doing. What is you doing? You doing meetups? No. You doing meetups? You doing meetups? No, I'm not. What are you? What you talking about? I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm D-Rock. shit, trying to do meetups. What the you doing? Let me ask you, what you doing with these meetups? Because you didn't know this was me. That's me you've been talking to this whole last week. Listen, coming home. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You've been coming to the, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You've been coming home, laying in the bed with me, acting about none of that crying, none of that shit. You've been coming home. Listen, you've been coming, no, because that shit crazy. You be coming home every day, laying with me and doing all that shit the whole time you doing meetups and shit. No, ain't none of that. You do meetups. This is what I did not want to marry. This is not what I want. I didn't marry. This is not what I married. We've been married 4 years. We've been married 4 years. It ain't no, ain't no something. There's no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? I'm not trying to hear that shit. 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 No, don't try to cover yourself up. Don't try to cover you. Why are you embarrassed now? You wasn't embarrassed at first. You wasn't embarrassed when you was on there. I don't give. Now she wanna cry. I don't give about none of that crying. Just know this. When you come out and get your shit, I ain't know I love you shit. I ain't know I love you shit. You don't fucking love me. You don't love me. You don't love me. Back away from me. Back away from me. Back away from me. Back away from me. Ain't no dead shit. You doing a whole, you doing meetups. You not OnlyFans, you doing meetups. You doing OnlyFans, no. Don't touch the tree, don't touch it. You not OnlyFans, you doing meetups all the time. They wanna cry and do all that shit. No. Shoot. So just whatever. Do it. Listen. Finish doing what you want to sit there. Finish doing what you doing. Finish doing or about what you thought you about to call the next nigga. Come get your shit. Your shit will be outside when you come home. Your shit will. No, I don't give about none of that. I don't about none of that. I don't even know the kid's line. I don't even know their line now.
So we got a guy, and you started with some really good passion and emotion about this thing. Somebody wrote, sheesh. Sheesh.
That's a lot.
Yo, I put the title, is OnlyFans the new Craigslist? Because it just amazes me how the sex trade works. You see, you always start off showing off your toes for $500 a week, $600 a week, $800 a week, $1,000 a week, and then it drops down to $50. Mm-hmm. So now you have to figure out, how am I going to get people to, they don't want to see my feet no more.
You got to show something else.
To the left, everything you own in the box to the left. And, you know, it's like we have to understand the sex trade. There's no way you're going to have an OnlyFans and be that woman and not have to start doing in-calls. It ain't going to work.
What do you call it?
In-calls.
In-calls. What are in-calls?
Well, that goes back to the Craigslist time. There was a time when you used to go look through Craigslist at the middle of the night, and you could see who's doing in-calls. And if you like the picture, then you go over to this person, and they show you, usually they're at their house. Some work hotels. Certain hotels are known for the in-calls. Trust me, none of the women you're going to get out of Craigslist on the in-call is going to be attractive. These are going to be the ugliest booger bears like her. They're going to look like her. And it's disgusting. But what's interesting is that women are in the OnlyFans business because they believe they're going to take pictures of their feet. They don't see that reality that this woman is now moved from possibly her feet. This is the assumption, because this is what they tell. All women are being told this, that there's a group of men out here that want to see your feet. They will argue with us in the comment section. No, it's true. It's true. That's a very small amount of men.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a man is into feet, he just moved to Florida.
Wait, because Sanders?
All the Sanders in Florida. Like, let's not play this game here. That this, then is always, I stopped taking feet pictures because they wanted me to stomp on bugs. and stomp out watermelons and fruit and all that stuff, and I got tired of it. So then I started to take my OnlyFans more serious. You see, in order to do OnlyFans, the number one way people make money on OnlyFans is to advertise.
Wait.
It's like a business.
I got stuck on somebody wanted to see feet to stomp bugs out, like to kill bugs with their feet.
Oh, like you gotta stop acting like you ain't been around. Like, come
I-
on. You don't know about this? You don't know about Doc? Are you aware of this? Of
Are you
course.
kidding? What?
Well, no, it's the
You
excuse
stuff
to
like-
move on. It's the excuse to move on, to do something
Yeah,
else, to do, you know.
yeah.
What
Oh,
are you,
do
what are
something.
you talking
It's all
about?
the
This
reasons-
this small
You're
group
talking
of
about-
men
yeah.
that are paying women to see their feet eventually want to see them do more than just have painted toes.
Yeah.
So they want them to kill bugs?
Stomp on, press on water bugs and all that kind of stuff. Stomp on bugs, stomp on fruit, throw chocolate and all this kind of stuff all over your feet.
Yeah, all right. The chocolate, all right, chocolate and stuff like that. That's
Oh, you
something
have to take yourself
understand.
out of this,
Yeah,
Ulrich.
okay.
I know you probably like chocolate on girls' toes now. Now
That's
you let
not true. All right, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that I was so amazed at women that are in the sex industry and don't like this. To me is such a window into the reality of the OnlyFans girl. The OnlyFans girl who starts off taking pictures of her feet, then she starts going topless, then she starts going bottomless, then she starts inserting things inside of her, then she starts calling up guys to come over and perform in these things, then she starts to do group things. But the number one way to win in this is you have to advertise. And what are women lazy? It takes a lot of work to put yourself out there. First of all, women deal with massive low self-esteem. It's very difficult for a woman to walk around with, this is who I am, come visit me. That's why places like Fresh and Fit do so well. Because these girls know if I go on this platform with this guys, I'm going to be able to push my OnlyFans to an audience of 10,000 men at a time. Now they're doing Rumble 10,000, YouTube 10,000. That's 20,000 men, possibly. You get 2% of that. You know, now we're talking. Now they believe it's going to be something. But if you don't know how to get on Fresh and Fit, if you do not have, and then they also use TikTok. OnlyFans girls are big TikTok users. They use TikTok as a way to get to their OnlyFans. So when you see the girl bouncing and her breasts and her nipples are going all different directions, there's going to be information in the description for her OnlyFans. So my question is OnlyFans the new Craigslist?
I don't know, because
Have you ever seen the Craigslist when it was all about prostitution?
well, so a lot of the old Craigslist that you're referring to is I know from the anecdotes that you talked about, because I didn't have a computer when the internet, I guess, was and prostitution on the internet was rampant. When you said it was the 90s.
No,
Forget about what I said.
What's always rampant is the sex trade, and the thing is, it's like it's a virus that mutates more than C19. Okay,
Facts.
and the thing about it is, it always finds itself into whatever niche that exists to continue to survive. And the thing about it, at the basis of human interaction, is the male and female, and if that's there, you know, there's always going to be that underbelly of that sex trade. You know, and you have certain women that is just part of their character. That's why they're here for. They do that.
Is
sex
it part
thing,
of their
you know?
character, or do
No,
they
certain-
change? They
certain women-
get
certain women-
caught in that net.
You know, the thing about it is, it's almost like environment perceives your reality and genetics. So in other words, they'll say, oh, you know, you're predisposed to diabetes because it's your genetics. But what you'll find is that you'll have two people of the same family, and if they in two different environments, their propensity for diabetes change. But the thing is, you talk about it as genetics, but what so happen most often of the time is the same type of processed food that these folks are eating in that specific area, you know, everybody that's born to that family stays in that area. And as a result, they all get that issue. But funny enough, so does their neighbor. The
Right.
person down the street in that area that eat and partake that same type of diet. You know?
Yeah, if the 12 pack of Coke is
Right.
3 for $5, then there's gonna be a lot of diabetes in that neighborhood.
So likewise, in a situation where this is what a young lady say, is surrounded by, And
Right.
this is how the people in her area are making money and so on.
Right.
So it becomes part of them, regardless if they go to some other area, they become the town's slut. So, again, for, giving those type of services and stuff like that. But then there's certain men that needs them. So this kind of
Let's talk about the man. I want to talk about the man real quick too. Now that you say that, Ulrich, did you see how this man told this woman, "I thought that you were out with your friends"?
But wait, why did he do the theatrical or elaborate plan if he thought he was out?
No. He said that when she kept telling him where she was at, he thought she was out with her friends doing things, business. This is what he said. I say, what a beta.
I mean, it's
Whoa, your woman is out at night with her
Doing what?
friends? So
Doing
much
what?
room that she can do an OnlyFans?
That's crazy.
He was
What
supposed
can
to say,
say?
I thought you was working at McDonald's.
Yeah, and where's the money?
I thought you was working at Walmart in the back, but they closed. Why you got the face? Come on, Ulrich.
With what face specifically?
The face. Well, the question is about this man. Let's talk about him, the personality of this man. Let's go. Let's take a moment and let's talk about the man that has a woman. This woman now says, "Yo, babe, I'm gonna be hanging with the girls tonight," and she's out there turning tricks, using her OnlyFans as a way to do in-calls.
Yeah. So when I said I thought he wasn't. I thought he should view that she was out with friends just because he planned this whole theatrical, this whole spectacle to do this. I think he should. I think this guy went about it in an odd way by checking her in this dramatic way. This dude had to take his time out to drive or take an Uber to do this just to catch her. So he's already wasted more money on her than he's did in the past that she's making money from OnlyFans. So to be honest, I think he should have checked her in a whole different way.
What say you? What way should he have checked her? This is 2023. Everyone has a camera. Everyone is searching for clout. What part of this is with clout chasing?
I think it's okay. I think it's okay what he did. I mean, what else would happen? In another situation, he would have got into some issue because he put hands on her. So I think it's probably better that he did that.
I don't think he would ever put hands on her.
But the thing is, the situation is him
He
as
was
a
still
guy.
arguing. He was
Him
still
as a
arguing
guy.
with her. He was
Him
still
as
arguing
a
with. Okay.
him as a guy, to get to the point where you have a wife that you've been married to for 4 years, giving you information that she's hanging out with friends, and to what extent, and how long, and what business meetings. Because the way he said it, it becomes weird.
It did get a little weird.
Because you can't be a husband to some woman for 4 years and you say, I thought you was in business meetings. You would know much more about that.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's
Like what business meetings are we talking about? And it reminds me of the hair business. Mm-hmm. You should see the women that are in the hair business. I mean, they look like $200 will get you a little holler. Mm-hmm. They seem to be very open-minded. It reminds me of bartenders. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in the bar business, anyone who knows me knows I was in the bar business almost 20 years. And I remember a time when I would leave to go to the store and come back and the bartender's there butt naked. And this was the wholesome one. This was the nice girl. It was very common for this to happen in that bar business. And I could see tons of that personality doing well for the OnlyFans and moving in that direction of looking for an in-call. I mean, how much is she charging? I mean, she got the room, so the room was what? $69 to $89, right? This is her dime. So the man has to at least cover the room, and then what is she getting? And then she's 225 pounds. Yeah, she couldn't even walk in those heels. She was all hunched over because she doesn't even know how to walk in. She's a sneaker girl. Mm-hmm. You got Air Force. Weird. She's an Air Force One girl and some 4-inch pumps, looking crazy. She couldn't even walk in them.
It's she's not making any money. I don't think. And now
when you say she's not making any money. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you mean.
Meaning, I wonder how lucrative this situation is for him. What I'm leaning towards is something that we alluded to a week or two ago when I talked about that you have to tap into your woman's inner slut. And the thing is, they run around the hood with high top and Air Force Ones, and she always wanted to be this girl in the lingerie and selling heels. And the thing is, but he's not giving the opportunity to do that. So it's like she's trying to live out this fan,
So OnlyFans is allowing her the opportunity to live out a fantasy that she's had of herself. It's not about the money.
Right. So,
Sir,
I don't know, man.
Sir, I think you are onto something. I think you're onto something with that. And don't forget, in this world, in this reality, all things can happen all at the same time.
Sure.
You can be onto something, I can be onto something, or we can be onto something. It don't mean that one of them is wrong and one of them is not is right. What it says is just that there's different perspectives and point of views here. We got
that can make sense.
We got an MD over here. We got a doctor over here. We got an educator over here, and then we got me, the dispensary guy, ex-bar guy, ex-pizzeria guy, personal chef guy, or ex-personal chef guy. I don't do that any longer. Not that I have any problem with that, but it's just, we have our different perspectives. And I know that when I was in that bar business, I could see most of those women in OnlyFans. And let me tell you this. He created an account, called himself D-Rock, and was in correspondence with her. That's the whore she wants to be. She wants to believe she's choosing him. And everything is all right, because if she's not like a streetwalker who just takes whoever comes with $1.
Right.
See, these are the women that throw black eyes to that business, to that world. They destroy that world, because even though I get it, it's like what you said, she's living out a fantasy to her to some degree. Because he's not going to walk in the door, he's not going to kick in the door, wave the 4-4, and have her on her knees. That's what she wants. But why not get paid for it? Oh, Rick, what say you?
I mean, I don't know about getting paid. I don't know about getting, cash for it. I don't know. I think what she did, the fact that she had to do it sneakily, know that what she was doing was kind of off, and not. If you think it sounds like you guys think that she's entitled to do that and to make her money.
Entitled?
Yeah, she has the right to do it. She has the right to do it. Is that fair to say?
The right?
Because you were just celebrating her for you, like, make that money.
I never said that.
What did I miss?
You see, you were caught up in a thought. I saw your face. Your face was turned up. You were caught up in an idea. I want to know what you were thinking. Forget about what I was saying. What you thinking? I want to know.
I can't. Well, now I can't recall it. You gotta get me back on track.
Were you going back to that? Were you going back to that book?
I don't think she's entitled.
You know what book? The book I keep telling you to be careful with.
No. What? No.
What book you're
Absolutely no.
I'm talking about that Bible.
No, absolutely.
You know how Ulrich likes to go back to that book.
No.
And
But she's
not in this context.
But she's not entitled.
Straightforward.
She's straight. The minute she decided to be, and somebody may take this the wrong way, the minute she decided to be somebody's wife, she's not entitled to doing that. Now, it goes back to him, his fault, because he should have vetted her.
Mm-hmm.
It's always his fault. He should have vetted
Nah,
her.
all right. To be honest, that vetting shit don't always work, man.
It don't always
Are you
work.
speaking from experience?
Yes.
Who did you
something
vet
was
that
missed.
turned out to be opposite of what you?
When I say vet, I just mean receive them, and everything I received seemed to be positive. When you say vet, I didn't go into any investigation, but all the information I was receiving was up to snuff. But that didn't serve to
you're not gonna
them being the same kind of person.
You're not gonna really know some of the things that you need to know unless there's stress involved.
Exactly. Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So if you go on all the positive things.
So you're just telling me that vetting don't work at all?
No, vetting.
You
How you go about it. How
Yes,
you go about
you
it.
have to have the conversations with these women. You
You
have to.
Yeah, but say
create
you
the
vet
situation
somebody.
also.
Say
You got to
you
create
vet-
that
no, no,
situation
no.
of distress.
Say you vet somebody.
Either through conversation to see what that person would say, or other situations that.
I am maniacal, Doc.
You know what you
You're
mean?
maniacal.
Talk about it.
Doctor Evil.
So, because you want to find out what
No,
a person thinks.
because that's something a girl would do. The shit that I want to create a bad situation in
No, no.
order to see how they can handle a bad situation.
Well, it could be a hypothetical in the
No,
conversation.
I'm not gonna hype. I'm not gonna hype. No. I'm not gonna hype that. It's how I receive a girl. If something comes on spot, I'm not gonna be worried, thinking, waiting for the wrong thing to happen.
No, that's what
Every-
you're supposed
yeah.
to do. You're a thinker. You're supposed to prepare for all these different situations and
No,
possibilities.
you can't live.
When
if
you don't do that, then you end up in a bad place because the unexpected happens and you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, but
And-
not in terms of relationship. Relationships are like by nature relationships volatile. People change within a year. Some people are more receptive to influence than others, and
Right.
you
Yes.
might never know that. You might never understand that by knowing them because they were always receptive to your influence.
But see, you
And
have to
then-
understand that because they're only just being receptive to you. You'll see their likeliness to be receptive to other people, and then you'll see them bring other people's point of view about something you talked about, and they're kind of like easily swayed by that. So it's just really you, or they just taking everything that comes to them.
I'm telling you, I had women behave like I was the smartest person in the world, and then behave like I didn't know anything.
Okay.
So I didn't say, so you know, I don't know. It's hard to. I really think vetting is
There's a
almost
personality disorder.
vetting is almost impossible. It's impossible to truly
I
vet.
hear your argument.
It's not
I hear your
no,
argument.
what you're saying
Women
is
are
that
fickle.
you can't-
Men
you
are fickle
can't-
too. The feminine trait is fickle. If you're a feminine man or a feminine woman, the feminine trait is fickle. So the feminine trait is receptive to cults of personality, are receptive to all kinds of manipulation, receptive to hormonal change that you rationalize into being something bigger than just like a fleeting emotion, and you might think all of a sudden you're perturbed about them, and now you're perturbed a little bit because you feel a little emotional. Then that feeling starts to perpetuate. Then you start to see little signs and bad habits in that person, and that perpetuates, and then eventually there's a snowball effect, and then all of a sudden you're not into that person anymore. So that's why Van
Do you,
doesn't know.
do you remember that studio that I was building in the Bronx, Doc? It was above the pizzeria before I got the pizzeria.
yeah,
You remember that, right? Do you
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember the electrician?
yes,
And that electrician that I had doing the work there, and I'm not talking about the black guy skinny, I'm talking about the white guy. I can't remember his name right now.
right.
I think his name was Brian. Now that I just thought about
Yeah.
that, because it was like two Brians. And one of these guys that worked doing the electricity,
The baker.
it was not the baker. The baker was doing the
Right.
other, he was doing the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
part.
yeah.
But
No,
the
yes,
other
yes, yes,
Brian was doing the electrical work.
Yes.
And you remember he had a day job. He had a whole business
Mm-hmm.
where he had 4 or 5 women working for him,
Right.
and he was their manager. So I had this guy doing electrical work for me at the studio that I was building in the Bronx, and we had, and he would say interesting things to me. He said, and he was a real professional. You know, this guy knew the woman's psyche, and he was able to provide. He had enough men that he was able to get women to come by, and he would tell them like, okay, I'm gonna book you a night, and he was getting girls that were working for $200 a night, and he would keep like $80 out of the 200, and then I think $20 went to the driver, whoever drove her wherever she was going. So he had like a little system set up, and I was telling him, how was that? Talking to him about the business, and he said something that always stood with me. He says, you can get almost any woman to do this line of work for $1,000. He's like, he says the hardest thing is to get the girl who's gonna do it for 80 or 200. That's really difficult. Like, it was hard for him to juggle these women and have it where they were like be on time and be punctual and all that. He was just like, but the
They're
$1,000.
satisfied with their salary.
Yeah, be satisfied getting getting $100. They're meeting up with this guy to get $100. Then they off to the next one, and he would try to book as many as he could. He had like a whole system. But what he said was, that the $1,000 woman, he says, every woman wants to be the $1,000 woman. He says you can go to almost any woman randomly and say $1,000 to sleep with me, and they'll do it. And he says because women want to feel worth that kind of money for what they have. Like he says, it's almost impossible for them to say no. He says he says those women. He says if I had that clientele, it'd be a great life. He says, but the problem is I'm trying to get a $200 girl, and she has a baby, and and she has a boyfriend, and she's trying to hide everything from everyone. So when I see this young lady here, I see a $2 woman, but what you said resonated, that this could be some sort of fantasy where a person is willing to pay to be with her. And she's turned on by that because he never argued like, we don't need the money, or what are you doing with this kind of money? He never really went there. He never talked about money. He just talked about her lying about where she was.
Right.
But
So,
she could just want money independent of him. Like she could want to get money independent of him and not money that they share and money that she knows, especially if they're like in
Right.
a serious relationship and they're living together. So like she want to make
They're
her own
living
money.
together,
and
got kids.
they're living
Huh?
together with kids, I think
Yeah.
he said. Yeah, they have children.
Yeah, maybe
He's
she's
wa-
called an escape plan because she can't be doing this. She can't be doing this for them because that's more. This is more harmful than helpful to the relationship.
Yeah, but
I
maybe
agree.
this is feeding her ego. Women
that's what
are
I'm saying.
ego driven.
Because she didn't want that to happen.
No,
She didn't want that to happen.
she was crying.
Yeah.
She was very, very hurt. She was even trying to shake. All I was gonna do was this. You saw when she did that. She
She
was
gave
like,
him a-
she's like,
she
all
gave
I
him
was
a
gonna do
sample.
is she started. Yeah, she
She
started
gave
giving
him
a
a
little
sample.
sample. Baby, all I was gonna do was this. Anyway.
A little gyrate.
Anybody have anything else to say? I think we covered this topic
I
pretty
think
well.
So, yeah.
There we go.
You got it all right? I'm Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg.
I'm Ulrich.
And I'm Dr. Surgeon, the people's doctor.
Yeah. And I love you, and that's a fact. Let me just see if anybody else other than someone said dope. I appreciate that. Escort service, Big Elvis. What's up, big bro? What does this say? Can you read that? Ray Alicious? Ray
Ray the boss.
Ray the boss. Ray the boss, you all that. Just like her getting money doing exactly this. Alright. To the left, to the left. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Alright, well you guys are all appreciated. Don't forget the Venmo is $. Oh no, the Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg and the Cash App is $Elvis Rosenberg. You are appreciated. And that Elvis Rosenberg, $Elvis Rosenberg, one word. And I love you.
All right.
Boom.